Are there any corrections to the agenda? Yes,
I'd like to motion to amend the agenda.
go ahead.
A motion to add resolution 2023 S3 5003.
There's been a motion to add resolution 2023 S3 5003 to the agenda. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then the motion carries. Are there any other corrections to the agenda? If not, then the agenda will stand as approved. The next order of business is public comment. Is there any public comment? If not, we will move on to the next order of business, which is guest speakers. Are there any guest speakers? Okay, if not, we will move on to the next order of business, which is elections. In the interest of time, speeches are limited to 2 minutes and questions for the applicant are limited to 1 minute. I will be forced to cut you off past this amount of time, so please ensure that your questions are thoughtful and relevant. Vice President Fernandez will be waiting outside with you all, and the previous speaker will send in the next one. Please check in via the QR codes posted outside if you haven't already, as this will ensure your name is called for speeches. You are expected to stay for the duration of the meeting, as you will be voted on this meeting and sworn in the next meeting. At this time, I'll ask all prospective applicants to leave the room.
This is the UIC Radio USG Open Mic Night resolution. Whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to promote social events for students on campus, and whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to partner with registered departmental organizations on campus, and whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to establish a partnership with UIC Radio, then let it be resolved that on February 16th, the undergraduate student government will partner with UIC Radio for an open mic night in Student Center East. And let it be further resolved that USG shall allocate a maximum of $300 for the purchase of drinks and snacks from UIC Catering for the attendees of the event. And let it be further resolved that any unspent funds shall be returned to the USG budget.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? As a reminder, we will be voting on this tonight. Yes, Sophia.
My question, do you have a flyer for it, since it's, as I see it's like coming out?
Yes, we do. We were just waiting for tonight. Once it is voted on and hopefully it is passed, we have flyers that I will also share with the board.
Thank you. Carolina?
Just out of curiosity, is there any like specific theme for open mic night, or is it just like anything?
This open mic night is going to be part of a larger UIC Radio week of events. We're calling it the Week of Love, so it's going to be in part of that event. But this specific event doesn't have anything super to do with like Valentine's Day or that. It's just part of that week for us.
Saba?
Do you have a location?
Yes, we are doing the Ward Lounge from 6 to 8 p.m.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 as to 5002, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then resolution 2023 as to 5002 is passed. We will now move on to the next order of business, which is new business. First, we have resolution 2023 S1002. President Almendros, would you please read this for us?
Whereas the undergraduate student government represents the University of Illinois Chicago student body, and whereas USG has hosted an annual State of the Student event to highlight USG's advocacy, accomplishments, and to rally support for current USG initiatives, and whereas USG is dedicated to promoting the work and services USG is doing now and has done in previous academic years, then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government will host USG State of the Student in early March. Then let it be further resolved, USG will allocate $600 for room reservation fees. Then let it be further resolved, USG will allocate $1,200 for catering. Then let it be further resolved that $1,700 is the maximum allocation for the USG State of the Student, and that all unspent funds shall be returned to the budget.
All right, thank you. I will now open the floor up for discussion. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Sam.
Since the 1,200 and 600 don't add up to 1,700, are you saying that like 1,700 is the max cap regardless of those two separate allocations?
Yeah, thank you. So that, I believe that's a mistake,
Okay.
within the resolution. So I can, make a motion to amend it. I actually have two motions, to make for this resolution. First motion is to change, our resolution code to read as resolution 2023 S3.
All right, there has been a motion to change the resolution code from 2023 S1 1002 to 2023 S3 1002. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the motion carries.
Second motion I'd like to introduce is to, change 1,700 to 1,000.
There's been a motion to change the dollar amount from $1,700 as the maximum allocation to $1,800. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then the motion carries. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this resolution? Yes, Sam?
First of all, sorry, I didn't mean to nitpick over that. But I'm just interested in like the content of the event, just like what do we have planned? What kind of audience are we looking for?
Right, so, as mentioned in the language of the resolution, this was done, last done in 2019, before the pandemic. That's when it was last done. It hasn't been done the past 3 years. And the idea of this, and we're tweaking a little bit to make it work better because it wasn't widely attended when it was last done. So some improvements we're making is to invite student leaders to this event, similar to how we do things with the Connected Student Leaders event. This will highlight all the accomplishments we have done during the pandemic, during the 2021 academic year, last year's accomplishments, because we were able to highlight the accomplishments we were able to get done last academic year, and everything we've done this academic year, this point in time. And also to highlight current USG initiatives we're trying to push through with the student body. So hopefully by inviting student leaders, that they'll be able to spread our projects we're trying to do here, and also the USG survey that will be administered.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? We will be voting on this next week. Oh, yes, ma'am.
And one comment about this resolution is this is also going to be paired in with a state of the student report, which will highlight everything again we've done really over the past 3 years. Because I realized there's not really exactly that type of historical context of what we've done over the past 3 years, especially since many of the biggest initiatives we're working on this year were carried on for many years ago. So hopefully this event will not only rally student support for our initiatives and bring to life what we've done in the past 2 years, but also provide historical context for what's.
All right, thank you. Are there any last comments on this resolution? If not, we will be voting on this resolution next week. Next resolution we have is resolution 2023 S1 3001. President Matthew Lundris, could you please present this to us?
Whereas the undergraduate student government advocates for students, and whereas USG is partnering with the Student Advocacy Coalition to lobby Illinois elected officials on UIC and UI system needs, and whereas Lobby Day is on February 22nd, 2023, and whereas USG has traditionally purchased buses that UIC students will ride on to travel to Springfield, Illinois, then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government shall purchase the rent of one coach bus from Bureau Charter. Then let it be further resolved, USG shall allocate a maximum of $2,176 to purchase the rent of one coach bus from Bureau Charter. Then let it be further resolved that any unspent funds shall be returned to the budget.
thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Yes, Sonia?
So what's the max capacity for this bus?
So I believe the max capacity for the bus is around 56 passengers, but we will only be taking around 40.
Yes, go ahead.
So because I know this, the link was kind of shared around with like several other organizations. Will there be from now until February 22nd or any time prior, will there be like a confirmation for those people that register that their seat is secured, or if it's not? And when will that be expected?
So I'll let Representative Slaughter.
Hi, so y'all may know, I'm also SAC co-president. I also work in the Office of Government Relations. So my boss has kind of been getting these, like, the sign-up links basically, and we've kind of been making sure people know their senators, representatives, et cetera, I have personally been emailing the folks back, with a groupie link, especially because SEC is organizing, kind of like a lobby day prep training, if that makes sense. So I know there are maybe 2 or 3 emails sitting in my inbox that I have not gotten to yet. Are you talking about those people? Because I hope that I'm getting it.
So no one in specific, but I know that people are like, at least in pre-law society, people are still like going to the link and then just like asking me like, oh, but I'm just like trying to confirm, like, obviously reach out to you, but it is such a high volume of people that.
Right. So I will have to check. I'll check with my boss, but like obviously she's only sending me so many updates. Like it's not gonna get checked every day. We are taking signups, I think, through the 13th. SAC signups are still open, but I think Matthew will say something about USG signups later. And yeah, that's it. But I think in terms of the bus seats though, like we still do have that set amount of students that we can take. The bus, correct me if I'm wrong, but we can decide together, but probably can seat, like, for instance, those 30, maybe if faculty decide they want to come as well, or something like that. But,
Thank you.
yeah, because like the place is basically the lunch spots, everything else is still limited. So even if there are more spots on the bus, there aren't more spots, it's capped.
Thank you.
As an additional response, if you signed up through USG, I think your spots should be secure. Today is the last day to accept any applications through USG or lobby day. So if you're interested, please email me tonight. Otherwise, it's a first come, first served basis. And about the resolution, this will be voted on tonight. I'll be using an executive order due to the time restraints of this match.
With that in mind, are there any other questions or comments before we vote? If not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S1 3000, S3. Oh, did you want to? Okay, I motion to change the resolution code from resolution 2023 S1 3001 to resolution 2023 S3 3001. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Is there any abstain? If not, then the motion carries. Are there any last comments before we move on to voting? If not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 S3 3001, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then resolution 2023 S3 3001 has passed. We will now move on to our next resolution, which is resolution 2023 S3 1003. Director Modesty, could you please read this to us?
Yep, okay. Whereas the undergraduate student government seeks to promote student encouragement through cultural education, and whereas tea is a cultural practice amongst different cultures, USG seeks to promote cultural education to UIC's diverse student body, then let it be resolved USG shall allocate $250 for table reservation fees for Teas Around the World event to be held on March 2nd, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on East Terrace in Student Center East, as well as the purchase of tea, hot water, and cups from UIC Catering. I have the teas that we'll be purchasing, as well as links linked in the document, as well as what we'll be ordering from UIC Catering. And then let it be further resolved that any unspent funds will return to the USG budget.
Thank you. I will now open the floor up for discussion. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Sam?
What's the total on the money allocated to the teams?
For the teas, it's $154.
That's the follow-up.
Yes, go ahead.
How much tea is that? Like, is that gonna be enough for
It-
people walking by?
It's enough tea for about 800 people.
Okay, that's a lot. of tea.
Yeah, and since it held in a central location, Student Center East on the East Terrace, I'm assuming we'll get a lot of traffic because of Inner Circle. So I want to have enough tea that it'll last for enough people for that amount of time. And also tea doesn't go bad that quickly, so like we'll be able to use it for another event if we're not able to use it that day.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Oh, yes, Saba.
Is it $6 per gallon of hot water?
Yes.
Can I ask, oh,
Go ahead.
are there any like other options?
I can answer that question. So it's $6 for tea that comes along with hot water from USC Catering. Now, we still have to figure out whether we can avoid the tea purchase and just get the hot water. That's something I'm going to communicate with them this week. But for the time being, yeah, it's $6 per gallon of hot water. But what was your follow-up?
I was just wondering if there are any alternatives.
We're exploring the alternatives. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? We will be voting on this next. Sam?
I really don't mean to be nitpicky about the like tea water stuff, but is that enough water for that much tea? Because like gallons are like milk gallons, right? Like is that much water enough for like that much tea? Is that a stupid question?
No.
That might be a stupid question.
Would anyone like to speak for that?
I mean, how big are the ounces in the cups, I guess, is what
How much
matters.
tea are you giving them?
I mean, it kind of depends on how much water they take. I kind of made an estimation, really, like 3 gallons would be delivered at the beginning and 3 gallons later. And so I can increase the amount of gallons, since there's a concern that it probably won't be enough, to maybe 8 or 10, because it is true that that area does get a lot of traffic and there will be a lot of students coming. Yeah. So I can increase it.
I'm a fan of the event, and I would hate for UIC Catering to be like, you only ordered 6 gallons, so nobody gets any tea. I just personally, I would be fine allocating more money. If it's just 6 for a gallon, that's like nothing.
Are there any other questions or comments? Yes.
This might be a dumb question too, but will there be like honey, sugar, or like lemon? Or is it just like tea and water and no sugar?
I am unsure of what UIC Catering provides alongside the hot water. What I have currently is just the tea and the water, no sugar.
Just go to Dunkin'. Just if you're real sick of this smell.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, we will be voting on this resolution next week. Next, we have resolution 2023 S3-5003, which was amended to the agenda, so please find it attached to the email chain. Deputy Treasurer Matthew, could you please read this for us?
Okay, so this is for USG office supplies. Whereas the undergraduate student government, USG, is responsible for the maintenance and upkeep for its designated office at Student Center East, and Whereas it is customary for the treasury committees to set aside funds in order to purchase office supplies for aforementioned maintenance and welcoming work environment for all members, then let it be resolved that USG shall allocate $500 towards purchasing office supplies for the spring 2023 semester. Let it be further resolved that all unspent funds shall be returned to the budget before the end of the spring 2023 semester.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Yes, Melody.
Are you all taking it?
Yeah, I'll take this question. So, as you may remember, we had a very similar resolution to this for the fall semester. And within the USG office, we have a couple whiteboards. On the whiteboards, there was a question that said, what would you like, what supplies would you like to use in your office? So we'll do something very similar to that and also take requests on a case-by-case basis. But thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding this resolution? Oh, Ms. Veronica.
So this question is for clarification. So like I read $500, like what is that?
Yeah, thank you. So just for example, last semester we purchased some snack items, a lot of cleaning supplies, Febreze, and a couple of the other items that we're looking into are like ink for the printer. We also need a lot of paper towels, a lot of cleaning supplies that we go through pretty fast. So we're absolutely not going to spend all $500. Last semester we only spent around 250, but still, it's really good for us to have this because you never know when something's going to pop up during the semester.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding this resolution? Okay, if not, we will be voting on this next week. The next item of business is, or the next order of business is items for discussion. Are there any items for discussion? If not, then we'll move on to the next order of business, which is ex-officio reports. May we please have the report of the advisor.
Good evening, everyone. So applications are live for student government elections as of today. And so Michelle Ramirez and Office of Dean Students is the person that is advising EPC. And so if there are questions around elections, feel free to reach out to the student EPC and UIC for additional questions. And talking with Michelle, two things came up. One was around the candidate forum. I know that was a low turnout last year, so thinking about different ways to get the candidate information out there to general students and have that be an event that's well attended. So if there's feedback around that, we'd love to hear from you all. You can either contact me or reach out to that email to UPC at UIC. And the other thought is how do we continue to get the word out about elections so that we continue to increase the number of students that participate in elections. So again, there's thoughts around that. Reach out to me or Michelle or students at UPC at USK. The only other thing I will say is that did meet some leaders about transparency around EPC, and so DOS is definitely committed to working with EPC to ensure that minutes are available and we all know who they are, and that's a very transparent process. So continue to work with some leaders on that as well. So I think that is it for me. Are there any questions or things that I can answer for the body?
Yes, Melody?
Just to kind of the question, if CSI could possibly even like, I don't know, screenshot and even post to the story the candidate forum that's coming up, as well as the election, that you know, CSI gets a lot of digital.
That's an easy thing.
Yeah.
So I can, I also see CSI, so I can make sure that happens.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding the advisor's report? Yes, ma'am.
This is completely not serious, but I think I'm wearing the same shoes here, so.
I think yours are better than mine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, then the report of the advisor will be filed. Next, we have the report of the student trustee.
No official report, but just congrats on the application.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to the next order of business, which is officer reports. May we please have the report of the president.
Thank you. So, I just wanted to firstly again congratulate our new representative elects. This is a very exciting time, always when we get new representatives. Always during these special elections to fill up our vacancies, always brings me back to when I first joined. All the ideas and the vision I had coming into this organization. And I can say that every idea and concern that you have can be worked on. And obviously it takes a lot of time and a lot of persistence. And I think that's many of you will take to learn that it takes a lot of time. And oftentimes you might even face a lot of opposition. But it's really just about how hard. So as we move forward with this semester, as you fully get integrated in your roles in student government, I encourage you just to stay passionate as you are on this day, and always, of course, reach out to myself or anyone about how we can support your initiatives. In terms of my actual report, so lobby day, we just put on the bus resolution this night, so that's 100% going to happen now. So thank you everyone for your votes. Again, municipal elections are February 28th, 2023. Please make sure that you vote. And on the topic of the 34th Ward Alderman candidate forum, so we're going to change this forum. I wrote in this report at the time that this is to be determined, but it's actually going to happen now officially. Not with the 34th Alderman, but with the 28th Alderman, his name is Alderman Urban. And so he's going to be coming in replacement of the 34th Ward candidates he's running up. He doesn't have any opponents in his election side. That's the reason why he's able to come to this forum. So he's going to come in replacement of the 34th candidates. So if you want to share that with your connections and networks, please do so. And we'll send an update via email. For the USG survey, I'm going to meet with Dr. Stewart for the final professional review this Wednesday. We've had a little bit of delay with this meeting, but I'm glad that's finally going to happen this week. And I'm hoping that we can get this survey out as soon as possible because it's really been delayed. I met with our advisor just to follow up on some USG initiatives, such as the USG Faculty OER Leadership Award and the Meal Squad Donations Program. With the Faculty OER Leadership Award, I'm going to have a meeting with the Dean of Libraries next week. And Faculty Affairs next few weeks, just to hash out the final details, but I think it's all set. We have funding, and now all we have to do is create a subcommittee that will find the awardees for this. And for the Meal Squad Donation Program, I think we have a meeting both for next week as well on Tuesday, talk about how we can implement this donation program, again, because it'll help students. Earlier today, Mike, Michelle, and I, and Mohammed met with the working group on reading and review days. And what came out of that meeting was very, very, very interesting. So this initiative was obviously started off 3 years ago. And it's been through a lot of revisions and a lot of negotiations on the table, but I think now we're coming to somewhat of an agreement, and I think Michelle might talk more about this, but what we're leaning towards now is actually implementing full fall break. And we'll see whether this can be implemented. It's gonna take more time, processes with the Senate and this working group, but right now it seems like a fall break is what we're coming to. And for the commissions, I attended the Campus Safety Commission and Mental Health Commission meetings last week. I think we're doing great progress with these commissions. The Campus Safety Commission, I believe, is now ready to start advocating for things like the night ride services, and transportation, and others, safety concerns in the residential homes. And finally, I introduced a resolution for State of the Student Dinner. So we're gonna finalize on a date this week. The resolution to allocate budget for it was introduced this week, so we will, figure that out this week and talk about it in the next discussion. I see my phone is pretty much up here, so, you have questions.
Are there any questions or comments regarding President Conyers' report? Board members, in the interest of time, I will be timing your reports, so no hard feelings. If not, then the report of the president will be filed. Next, we have the report of the vice president.
Hi, everyone. Just to talk about congrats to all the new reps or reps elect. Last Tuesday, on behalf of Matthew, was unable to make the meeting, conversation with SAC members in the US system on a lot of data logistics. I also attended the UIC meeting on Wednesday. I'm also happy to announce that Senate approved some changes to the religious holiday policies, and I'll just read the new clause that they added in there. In cases when the exact dates of the religious holiday is / are not known at the start of the semester, the student should notify the faculty member as soon as the exact date is known. Students should be asked to report if such situations might occur within the first 4 weeks of the semester. And as you might know, 4 weeks of the semester have passed. So just to give some context, last semester, I was the chair of the Legislative Affairs Committee. Representative Nora, Representative Saba, and I were drafting this resolution. We passed it, and then we, advocated for the Dean of Students, which was then Dean Diana. And I guess it got passed along to the Senate, and this change was made. I just want to talk a little bit more about this with Representative Nora and Saba this week, about how this is work with the resolution we passed, but that's exciting news that we're able to change the Senate policy on that. And as President Matthew mentioned, Speaker Michelle and I and Trustee Mohammed were meeting with the Senate Committee for Student Services and some faculty affairs members on the reading review days. It seemed to pan out that, as Matthew mentioned, that Thanksgiving break would be the compromise, which is very exciting news. We've had a lot of students come up to us requesting for that. As you know, a lot of universities have that full week off for fall. Then President Matthew and I had a first advisory meeting with Dr. McCall last week, and attended our e-board meeting last Friday. And this Friday, I'll be meeting with Representative Felix and Representative Veronica on issues regarding the Met Ride. That's on Mark.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding the vice president? If not, then the report of the vice president will be filed. Next, we have the report of the treasurer.
First off, congratulations to all the representative elects. Your thoughts and ideas were very intriguing, and I'm very much looking forward to the future. So, first and foremost, thank you, Speaker Michelle, graphic designer Zaina, and student trustee Mohammed for helping carry the USG merchandise to the office a couple weeks ago. And additionally, thank you to the Public Affairs Committee for assembling the order. I'm working alongside Deputy Treasurer Caballes in placing catering orders for upcoming USG endeavors. A lot of that took place today, so thank you very much, Representative Matthew. Additionally, I'm communicating with President Almendras about current and future spending. The Treasury Committee met with Representative Nazra and Representative Rueda to discuss potential USG initiatives as well as USG spending policies. Additionally, Representative Jesse and I met with the President and Treasurer of the Business Student Advisory Board to discuss a potential future USG event. Thank you so much, Jesse, for attending that with me. Last week, I attended the bi-weekly board meeting, and thank you, Secretary Dami, for reserving tables in SCE for the Helping Hygiene, Winter Wear, and Spring Supplies initiatives. The dates are as follow. March 1st from 12 to 2, we'll have the Winter Wear giveaway. March 8th from 12 to 2, we'll have the Spring Supplies giveaway. And March 15th from 12 to 2, we'll have the Helping Hygiene. So please let me know if you're available and interested in helping. This invite extends to all representatives, and we need as much help as we can get. It'll be a great opportunity to engage with UIC students and promote USG initiatives. But with that, I yield my time for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding Treasurer Rostos' report? If not, then the report of the treasurer will be filed. Next, we have the report of the speaker. Welcome to the new representative-elect. Yay! We're so excited. Okay, no one. All right. We're so excited to have you here with us. And I provided a list of action items that representatives must complete for onboarding. So new representatives, I'll be sending out links and forms, just a lot of things in emails for you guys to fill out. So please make sure to stay on top of that and keep an eye out on your email. So new representatives, you have to join the USG group me, the USG box, which I will send out an invite for, and fill out the committee preference form, which I will send out as well. All representatives, even continuing ones, must fill out the orientation availability form and set up a one-on-one with Speaker Michelle, me. And I'll be sending out a lot of information within these next couple of days. So please be sure you're keeping on top of the deadlines and staying on top of your emails. We had our first mental health commission meeting on last Wednesday, in which we discussed reading and review days and some spring semester programming, including Dr. Monasty's tea events. And deputy commissioner applications are open, so the link to apply is in our agenda documents. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me, of course. And to all the new representatives as well, if you're interested in working on mental health related initiatives, reach out to me and join Mental Health Commission. As Mike and Matthew said, we had our first reading and review days working group today. It was very interesting. And I'll be meeting with ABC Forrestal Cavalier on next Monday. And I also attended the board meeting on Friday. Are there any questions or comments regarding the speaker's report? All right, if not, then the report of the speaker will be filed. Next, we have the report of the chief of staff. Not here today, so I will read her report. So we had a board meeting on Friday to discuss upcoming events, the Safety Commission and Sparkathon. So if you're interested in joining efforts to fundraise for Sparkathon, which is UIC's dance marathon, benefiting UI Health, long-term survivors of childhood cancer clinic, with an org that you're a part of, please contact Abby at the email listed there. She met with directors Kemi and Felix to discuss updates on the committees. She will continue having director meetings this week, and the meetings on Monday are rescheduled. And she's still working on the 100-day report for the state of the student event and adding events that we held this year with the help of Kemi and adding graphics and photos. If there are any questions regarding Abby's report, please reach out to her directly. Next, we have the report of the diversity and inclusion chair.
Hello, everybody. Once again, congratulations to the representative-elects. Okay, first thing I have here is the Diversity and Inclusion Town Hall that's going to be happening next Monday from 3 to 5 p.m. and Student Center East 302. We've invited a lot of administrators, so please reach out to your friends and any student orgs that are interested in showing support, as well as any people that have concerns related to diversity and inclusion issues, accessibility issues, because it's going to be really important that they ask and voice their concerns at that town hall. And if any students don't feel comfortable coming in person, we have a form in our Instagram bio regarding the town hall for those students to ask their questions in that form if they don't feel comfortable coming in person. And we'll have some refreshments there, so it'll be a good time. Next, I met with Brick by Brick, whose representative is Layla Rose. And we discussed ways to increase awareness of the survey that Brick by Brick is doing to allow improved documentation of student concerns in the LGBTQ community. We're doing an initiative on increasing contraceptive awareness, access. So SHAPE reached out to Representative Brina with these ideas, and we're kind of looking into how we can work together. And one of the ways that we kind of discussed that is subsidizing contraceptives. If you've noticed, the CVS vending machine has some contraceptives. And so subsidizing those products, we're kind of working with administration, seeing how we can contact them and work with them to subsidize those products and make them more accessible for UIC students. And then the next thing, the resolution that I introduced today, the Teas of the World event, the date is set not for February but for March 2nd in Student Center East on East Terrace, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Different cultural teas will be offered with tea facts next to each type of tea, and students can take a cup of tea as well as learn a tea fact. So I think it'll be fun. Other things to note, Gia and Brina are doing really great work, working with MHC and just creating a mental health week and planning events with therapy dogs, collab events with student organizations, and etc. So that'll be really exciting to look forward to later in the semester. Any questions or comments, you can reach out to me.
Are there any questions or comments regarding Director Modesty's report? If not, then the report of the Diversity and Inclusion Chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Legislative Affairs.
Hello, everyone. Once again, congratulations, Representative-elect. But let's go straight to the reports. LEHC has been working on an educational flyer from student bodies to better understand the stances on the mayoral candidates. However, just recently, Chicago Votes has reached out and has wanted to partner with USG, so I'm in close contact with them to see how this can pan out. I've also gathered a list of student information and demands from students during the seminar. Reached out to Gladys Leaders, and a few of you are in front. And I hope to implement a few of them into LEC that can interact with student demands, and I really hope to get them up and going. I've been in discussions with the mayoral candidate forums producers and managers. I had a meeting with them earlier today, so we were able to better understand how the segments will go. And I just got some news that I've been invited to be interviewed live on air with the CEO of Chicago Scholars. So if anybody wants to come see me get nervous on air, definitely come check out the candidate forum. And finally, if you have any questions regarding LEC, you can definitely reach out to my email listed right there. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments regarding the Legislative Affairs report? If not, then the report of the Legislative Affairs will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Public Affairs.
Everyone, so this week, PA members, we're working on the February newsletter, and that will be sent out on the 13th. If you haven't picked up your merch from the office, please pick it up. The stream bags and water bottles will be available soon. And we reached out to fall semester graduates to ship their items, coordinating with DOS for shipping. And then our committee meeting this week has been rescheduled due to an exam, so it's Thursday at 6:15 virtually. And we are planning the state of the student dinner, and we created RSVP links for student leaders and representatives. Any questions?
Thank you. Please reach out to Kevin directly if you have any questions, and the report of the Public Affairs shall be filed. Next, we have the report of the Student Success Chair.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to all the new representatives. We're really happy to have you all. So we held our first committee meeting this past Wednesday, and most of the reps in the committee have personal initiatives that they'll be working on for this semester. Last Friday, I met with Lauren Gallagher to discuss a potential event for this semester, and I also attended our e-board meeting on Friday. And I yield for questions.
Comments regarding the student success report? If not, then the report of the student success chair will be filed. Last but not least, we have the report of the campus life chair. Oh, okay, I can read this. So Felix has confirmed the meeting with Dr. Raphael Cavalier, who is the ADC of Health and Wellness on Friday, February 10th at noon. He attended the e-board meeting last Friday, February 3rd at 5 p.m. He had his one-on-one with Abby on Friday, February 3rd at 6 p.m. And he responded to more prospective USG representatives. If you have any questions or comments regarding campus life initiatives, please reach out to Felix direct. And the report of the campus life will be filed. With that, we will move on to the next order of business, which is announcements. Are there any announcements?
Yeah, again, if you're interested in lobby day, this is doing the new representative, please email me and I can get you on that list. Second thing is, I used to be an intern for Illinois PERG and they're reopening internships. So if you're interested in internship, please reach out to me about that as well. It's a paid opportunity this time now. So if you're interested in learning more details about this, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Oh, yes, Manasi?
Yes, just another quick reminder that the Diversity and Inclusion Town Hall will be held next Monday, 3 to 5 p.m. Because it's a town hall, USG representatives are required to be there, barring if you have class or work. And so make sure to come and make sure to invite your friends or any student organizations that you know are involved with issues on campus to come, because we'll have people there that they can ask questions to, and they can have their questions answered.
Are there any other announcements? Yes, Melody?
So the Student Advocacy Coalition is having our first meeting on Wednesday in Cuppa. If you're interested in that, you should come see me. We'll be feeding you, so.
Yes, Stan?
USC Radio will be having its 23-hour show for its 23rd birthday this weekend. So if you're up really late at night on Friday, for whatever reason, feel free to tune in. It'll be fun. Oh yeah, we have giveaways. So if that entices you, free stuff. Yeah.
Yay, okay. Any other announcements? Yes, Marcia.
Yeah, so Kemi and I are looking for people to test out the new website. So if you're interested in that, send either me or Kemi an email or like a message, and we'll tell you more information about it.
All right, any other announcements? If not, we'll move on to the next order of business, which is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
A motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Is any opposing? All right, if not, then the meeting is adjourned at 8:07 p.m. Thank you.
Oh, food, there's